time is love? What 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 time is love?
Welcome to Dumbbell Training at 60. My name's Nick, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to dumbbell bench press 88 pounds for reps at 60. There are basically 5 main points that I would recommend people consider. The first is consistency of training. I would recommend anyone over 40 starts once a week, but you need to train once a week. You need to train on a regular basis. It's a bit like pushing up a big boulder up a hill. You push it when you train and you make improvements, so the boulder is higher. But if you stop pushing, it'll roll back. Now you've got a little bit of a leeway depending on how old you are. If you're younger, you probably can train every 3 days. You probably wouldn't have any problems with that at all, and you'd make improvements. But when you get older, because your recovery is slower, that window really, I think, is about a week. So it's almost like when you push the boulder up, you get a bit of momentum. So even though you stop pushing, it's still rolling up slightly. And then it pauses, and then it starts to come down again. And the key thing is to catch it before it comes down. And for me, that's about a week. So if you don't train for 2 weeks, that boulder's rolling back, and you're losing the gains that you made. So it's very frustrating if you if you train regularly for maybe 3 months and you think, oh, I'll take a week off, I'll go into, what do they call it, rest and recuperation, I'll let my body recover, and you think, I've worked hard for a month, I'll come back stronger. You won't come back stronger in the main, unless you're some kind of genetic freak. You'll come back weaker. At least that's what I've found. So consistency is very important. The second point is effort. If there's a famous quote in There's a famous quote in Pumping Iron where Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about how to make the muscles grow, and basically he says, when you're doing 12 reps, or you think you can do 12 reps, after the 9th rep, your body's basically saying, right, I've had enough of this, I want you to stop. And if you stop, then the body won't make any progress really. It's forcing yourself to go through that pain, inconvenience, stress factor. So you say, okay, my body's telling me to stop, but I've got a few more reps in me, and you go until you actually get muscle failure, or you grind out the last rep to such a point where you think, there's no way I'm going to get another one. So effort is very important. If you think you're going to go in and, supposing you're doing dumbbell curls and you dumbbell curl 10 reps and you think, oh, that's good, I'm tired. You may have been able to get 12 reps. And if you don't go to those 12 reps, you don't expect to see any real increase. You might get increases in the first 18 months because your body is adjusting and it will adjust very quickly. But the chances are you won't make any real improvements at all. So effort when you're training is very important. The third point that I would say is very important is sleep. Sleeping is where your body actually gets stronger, it repairs itself and it recovers. So if you get rested sleep, or you don't sleep very many hours, if you only sleep 6 hours, for example, that's not going to really help your situation. And all the points are ingredients. If you're missing one of the ingredients, that's going to impact on how you're going to improve. Most people recommend 8 hours sleep. I could sleep forever. I can't actually sleep forever. I like to sleep about 9 hours if I can. 9 hours. After I've trained, I get very tired and I sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, and I feel pretty recovered after that. So sleeping is very important. The fourth point I would recommend people consider is diet. Diet is very important. There are a number of different diets that people follow, and pretty much you can find any diet you like and you'll find a doctor that says that's the diet that will work. There are lots of diets that work. But the key the key points are to understand that you need protein. You definitely need protein. There's a debate whether you need carbs. You could probably get energy from fat if you get on a keto diet, I think it is, whatever it is. Keto diet. A diet where you eat lots of meat and lots of fat and you don't eat any carbs. I haven't ever tried that. I eat quite a lot of carbs for energy. I try and minimise the amount of fats that I consume because they're difficult to burn off when you get to my age. And I keep a reasonable amount of protein. So I would eat pretty much maybe a pound of chicken breast. I pretty much eat chicken breast all the time. I look at diet not as something that I really look forward to eating. I don't vary the diet particularly. I eat the same thing over and over and over and over again, which could be very tedious for some people. But to spend a little bit of time going on the internet and looking at what kind of protein quantities you get for the amount of food. So some foods are very high in protein. Vegetable proteins, if you're on a vegan diet or you're a vegetarian, vegetable proteins don't get absorbed as efficiently as animal proteins, so that's a point to consider. But a good intake of protein. I'm on about 4,000 calories. I would recommend anyone get some scales and start weighing yourself at the same time every day and see what's going on with your weight. From a training perspective, if most people would say, if you want to put on weight, you've got to up your calories, maybe 500 calories a day. So if you have no idea of what the calorie consumption is or whether you're putting on weight at the moment, because you might be putting on a pound a month, half a pound a month, and you don't even realise it. You only realise it at the end of the year. So diet is very important, and I would recommend anyone research and look on the internet for information on the nutritional look on the internet for information on exactly what foods contain what proportions of minerals and vitamins. Vitamins, of course, probably you need more vitamins and minerals than you would do under normal situations because you're pushing your body to a point it doesn't want to go. And that's why I take moringa the whole time. So I would look at your diet, what you're eating, look at what vitamins you're getting, and make sure that your vitamin intake is sufficient. And when I say sufficient, you're getting all the vitamins and all the minerals that you need. The last thing I think is very important is the mental approach that you should have. At 60 years old, 88 pounds is very heavy, and you can see in the video following this introduction that I struggle. It's a real struggle, and it doesn't matter whether I'm deadlifting or rowing or whatever. There is always a certain amount of mental concern that you're going to a place you don't want to go to. The benefits are you go to that place, you push yourself, you get endorphins released, you feel good about it, and if everything is going well, you make an improvement. And as you can see, last time I did the bench training, I lifted 3 reps at 40 kilos, and today I lifted 4 reps at 40 kilos. Today's bench press session, starting off 22 kilos. It's all slow motion, just so you can see exactly how my form is. And I can see exactly how my form is because I'm always checking for inflammation, soreness, strains, anything that might cause a problem later on. I work at a 90-degree angle. I've heard rumours on the internet that if you bench press, if the weight comes below 90 degrees when you lower it, then you run a risk of having rotary cuff issues later on. And some people say, no, that's not true. If your form is perfect, you don't get it. But Athlete X, who I watch, he had a problem with his rotary cuff, and he doesn't bench lower than 90 degrees. And I recommend him for advice, and I take that advice, and I only go down to 90 degrees. And then moving up to 2 reps at 32 kilos, same thing again, just warming up, preparing myself. one rep at 34 kilos, then it's starting to feel pretty heavy for me. So mentally I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Then one rep at 38, and that's again feeling heavier, and I'm thinking, here we go. And then up to 40 kilos, and last week I did 3 reps. You can see that in the video, and this week I did 4 reps, so I'm very happy about that. If I can't do 5 reps in my first working set, I tend not to use the same weight. I drop the weight a couple of kilos. One of the things I've found is that failure, if you try a weight and you fail, it really upsets you. It upsets me, at least. It upsets my mental state, because I think, well, no, I failed that weight. What am I going to do now? I drop it, and it still feels very heavy, and it casts a shadow over the whole session. So I'm very careful to select weights that I think I've got a greater than sort of 70% chance of lifting. I don't attempt to put on 4 kilos more than I've ever lifted before and think, oh, let's have a go at that. Let's see how that goes. It doesn't go well in my experience. And the second set was at 38 kilos. I got 4 reps, which is the same as last week. Fine, no problem with that. As you can see from the video, I failed on my 5th rep on my second working set at 38 kilos. And when I tried to lift it, I was already fatigued at that point, and I had a very slight pull on my front delt. I was very concerned that I didn't inflame it anymore on the incline, so I thought I'll have a go at the incline and see how I get on. And the actual lifting wasn't a problem. It was getting the weight into the starting position to lift. That was causing me a bit of inflammation. And I started off with 22 kilos at 4 reps, then I went on to 2 reps at 30, and then I went on to 34, and I thought I'm not going to go to 36 because dragging the weight from my legs to the starting position of the exercise I was using my shoulder to do that, and it was inflaming it. And I thought I'll keep the weight just a little bit lighter and do a few more reps. I did 5 reps at first and second. Thank you very much for coming by. Please come back. I'll be aiming to post every training session, and I'll do 3 a week. So unless I get injured or die, I'll be doing it. Take care. Cheers. Bye.
What time is love? What time is love?